Formaji YouTube video k lia oper jo tum ny story lik kdhs k oper tai men strong hook lik k do. Hook jandar. Suspenseful our curiosity si barpor hona chaye k mary vauer engage ho jn our video ko ntk decan title, ink that never dried. The room smelled of old paper and metal. A single bulb flickered above the wooden desk. On the desk lay a notebook, open to a blank page. The ink pen felt unusually cold in my fingers. I pressed the nib to the paper and began to write my name. The ink flowed smoothly, darker than expected. Too dark. I lifted the pen, but the letters continued to bleed. The ink spread slowly, like something alive. A faint sound filled the room. It sounded like whispering, coming from the page itself. My chest tightened as I leaned closer. The letters began to move, twisting into unfamiliar shapes. The air grew heavy and damp. The smell of ink turned sharp and bitter. I tried to close the notebook, but the pages stuck together. My fingers brushed the ink. It was warm. Warm like skin. A sudden sting shot through my hand. Black lines crawled across my fingers. They sank beneath my skin. My heartbeat thundered in my ears. The whispers grew louder, forming broken words. The bulb above burst, plunging the room into darkness. Only the notebook glowed faintly. The ink pulsed with a slow rhythm. The pages flipped on their own. Every page was filled with writing. All written in my handwriting. All describing moments from my life. Moments I never wrote. Moments I never spoke aloud. The final page began to fill itself. The pen rose from the desk. It hovered in the air, shaking slightly. Then it turned toward me. The pen moved closer, slow and deliberate. Its shadow stretched across the floor like a thin blade. I stepped back, my heels striking the wall. Cold sweat ran down my spine. The whispers shifted into clear voices. They spoke my name with perfect accuracy. Each syllable pressed against my ears. The notebook slammed shut on the desk. The sound echoed far longer than it should have. The room felt smaller. The walls seemed to lean inward. The air vibrated with a low hum. The notebook trembled. Ink leaked from its edges. It dripped onto the desk, thick and glossy. The drops hit the floor and spread like veins. They crept toward my feet. I tried to move, but my legs felt heavy. The pen scratched against the desk surface. It began to write without touching paper. Letters formed in the air, glowing faintly black. The words described the room. They described my fear. They described my breathing. My pulse raced as the words kept appearing. Each sentence predicted my next movement. I raised my hand. The writing paused. I lowered it again. The words resumed. A deep pressure filled my chest. The voices grew impatient. They demanded attention. The notebook snapped open once more. The pages flipped violently. Ink splashed outward, staining the walls. The stains formed faces. Their eyes opened slowly. They watched me in silence. The smell of iron filled the air. My throat burned with every breath. The pen dropped to the floor. It rolled toward me. The tip scratched against my shoe. A sharp pain shot through my foot. Black ink seeped through the fabric. It spread across my skin. The veins in my leg darkened. They pulsed with unnatural movement. I screamed, but no sound escaped. The room swallowed my voice. The notebook began writing again. This time, the words carved themselves into the pages. Each stroke made a wet tearing sound. The final page waited, empty and shining. The whispers fell silent. A heavy presence settled behind me. I felt its breath on my neck. Cold and damp. My reflection appeared on the ink wall. It smiled when I did not. The reflection stepped closer. It pressed its hand against the wall. Ink rippled, like water. Its fingers pushed through the surface. They wrapped around my wrist. The touch was firm and